Sawadee Up. This is Phuket's Provincial Hall. It's the old Provincial Hall because the new one isn't quite ready to be moved into yet, even though they've been building it for about 5 years. Anyway, that's another story. I am wearing a mask because in Phuket it's currently illegal not to wear a mask outside, so we'll have to put up with it. Yesterday, Phuket's Vice-Governor stirred the pot by singling out what he described as problem foreigners who weren't wearing their mask in public. Over the past week, there's been renewed attention to the wearing of masks at all times, even though it's been actually part of Thailand's emergency decree since April last year. And while there's been a wide use of masks over the last year, there may have been a dropping off of serious mask wearing at all times in recent months. But I have to say, the vast majority of all people in Thailand have been wearing their masks whilst in public over the last year. There are a few problem foreigners. There's also plenty of problem Thais who have occasionally erred in the mask wearing department. The intentional and malicious non-wearing of masks, though, has been very rare. But really, we're talking about a tiny percentage. I haven't seen too many foreign Karens, or the male equivalent, in my travels.
Alright, so you need to wear a mask. If you don't, you need to leave our store. I've asked you many times, politely.
You should just put your mask on. It's really selfish what you're doing, sir. You're making everyone else feel uncomfortable.
You need to shut up and leave me alone. Walk away!
Now, if you want to talk about the non-wearing of masks, just look at the pub and club scene over the past few months. In just about all the photos of parties and club events, the battle is to find anyone actually wearing a mask. Now, these photos are in Phuket at the start of April in Cafe Del Mar. Where was the Phuket Vice-Governor when all this was happening? Where was his mock outrage when Haiso Thais travelled to the island from Bangkok, bringing their infections with them? But again here, there are foreigners abusing the rules just as much as the Thais. So I'm calling out Phuket's Vice-Governor for winding up some unnecessary xenophobia when the problem foreigners should be at the bottom of their list of concerns right now. Trying to somehow shift the blame to those with little opportunity for comeback is just a cheap shot. But it's not the first time Thai officials have singled out foreigners as a cause of infections.
ไอ้พวกฝรั่งนักท่องเที่ยวอันนี้ต้องบอกไปยังสถานทูตนะครับแล้วก็บอกพวกประชาชนทั่วไปด้วยไม่ยอมใส่แจกแล้วไม่ยอมรับอย่างนี้ต้องไล่ออกจากประเทศไทย
The Thai Foreign Minister Anatun and a potential PM in waiting lashed out at foreigners last year, at the time warning Thais about foreigners fleeing their own countries for the safe haven of Thailand. Among one of his more colourful quotes, "Many Farang dress dirty and don't shower. As hosts, we have to be very careful." Now, we're all in this mess together and should be pushing in the same direction. We need to get more people vaccinated sooner rather than later. We all need to wear masks and socially distance ourselves, as mildly inconvenient as it may be. We all need to do it. Statistically, there's been some 57.5 thousand infections reported in total, but only 3,271 of those infections were from overseas, and the majority of those were from returning Thais. So neither the Phuket Vice-Governor or Thailand's Public Health Minister have the facts supporting their contentions to push blame onto foreigners. Now, a lot of these are just passing comments that end up being amplified by the media, ourselves included. But the comments are unhelpful, particularly when some of the expat-heavy communities, the foreign populations, have shown a keen willingness to roll up their sleeves and help feed many impoverished and hungry local communities who have been particularly badly affected by the pandemic. And finally, foreigners can't really be blamed for the Thai government allowing Songkran to go ahead unfettered, even as they had a few weeks of data staring them in the face that there was going to be a problem. But let's all do our part to help. Wear our masks at all times. The science supports this notion, there's no doubt about it. And do what you can to get vaccinated as soon as you can. I registered at the Bangkok hospital on Saturday and am exploring other ways to get into vaccination queues. I know it's frustrating at the moment, but it's better to be proactive and chase up your options rather than just wondering and worrying. We can't really recommend any particular path for foreign vaccinations because it depends on where you are, your visa and employment situation, and your relationship with Thailand's public health system. For our part, we'll keep publishing accurate and timely information about all matters affecting Thailand's expat community as soon as it becomes available. Thanks for watching.